Hi guys, Rainbow Dave here. This was supposed to go out on Monday. I know it was supposed to go out on Monday, but I accidentally put the, scheduled the map spotlight for Friday, so I'm going to leave it like that, and instead of the map spotlight today, you're getting this, where, number one, I'm going to TED the field here. This isn't going to be a proper Mulroy episode, this is just kind of a vlog style thing, I guess. And I'm going to take the field here while I have a chat about Gold Edition, which Giants have opened pre-orders for, and only MTX wanted me to talk about this, so seeing as the information is now, I'm not going to say available, it's somewhat available. Pre-orders are open so you can see what equipment is there and what tractors and stuff is there, and a few pictures of the map. So from that I've got a few thoughts, and by a few I mean I've literally got a copybook sat beside me that I can read out if I forget what I want to say. So first off, what brands are coming in? What brands are coming into Farm Sim with the big Gold Edition DLC? Well, you have Zetor, you have Rostselmash, you have what else? Tatra, as well as FarmTech and Cavernaland. So that's, what, 5 new brands? That's not bad for a DLC. You also get the map, the Eastern European map, which is called Sosnovka. Even. I suppose let's start off by talking about Sosnovka, which isn't the easiest name in the world to pronounce, so I'm probably going to screw it up and pronounce it differently every time. Hooray! And probably pronounce it with an S, because it sounds like it needs an S. Sosnovka sounds so much better than Sosnovka. And if Sosnovka is a real place, I do apologise for insulting you, Sosnovkans. So, the map's called Sosnovka. Sosnovka. Again, it should have an S somewhere else. Does sound a bit wrong. And from the pictures that are on the website, and I'm kind of doing this while regularly looking down to make sure that I'm saying what I want to say and not just improvising, because there are things that I want to say and I definitely want to say them, and I prefer to make sure that I say them instead of just kind of going off the cuff and saying something that is either wrong or that I don't wholeheartedly believe. So I actually wrote down my initial thoughts on the DLC, like I already said. So Sosnovka. Number one, the name I don't like it. It sounds silly and stupid and wrong, and Giants should be ashamed of themselves for coming up with such a silly name. No, just kidding. It just doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound real. Like I said, it should be Sosnovska. That has a real Eastern European vibe to it. And while Sosnovka is close, it just doesn't quite hit the mark, I don't think. As to the pictures and what I can tell from the pictures, now obviously it's a Giants map, so it's going to be very Giantsy. It's going to be big square fields everywhere and loads of weird little things that make absolutely no sense, which is fine, I guess. It's, from what I can see, it looks very generic. If you go onto, let's say, Modhoster and download all the Eastern European style maps on Modhoster, you probably got, that's what Sosnovka looks like. It looks like a kind of a mishmash of all the different styles of Eastern European stuff, which just looks like Giants went on a mod site and said, oh well, we'll have a look and see what people do, and then we'll do that. And as a result, everything in the map, all of the buildings, and I don't know why, because I know Eastern Europe hasn't had the best, financial situation since, well, the whole Soviet thing, the Soviet Russia thing happened. But why does everything look like it was abandoned in the 1960s and just left to rust? Why? Because as far as I know, Eastern Europe isn't full of rust. It's actually full of quite nice looking buildings. And yes, I know generic Eastern Europe is full of rust and whatever, but real Eastern Europe not so much, and I thought Giants would go for real Eastern Europe as opposed to generic, slightly, I'm gonna say slightly xenophobic Eastern Europe, like like a Westbridge Hills is slightly xenophobic America. It's America as designed by somebody who's probably never been to America, from what I've heard. Sosnovka looks like Eastern Europe as designed by somebody who's never been to Eastern Europe. And I might try and get my dad's opinion on the map, because he's actually been to the Czech Republic several times, which I would count it. He's been to the Czech Republic and Poland, which Poland is most definitely Eastern European. And while he's primarily been in the cities, he has been out in the countryside as well. Especially in, I believe Poland, actually Czech Republic and Poland, and I count them both as being kind of Eastern European, Czech Republic being obviously part of former Czechoslovakia, Poland formerly being Soviet, so he'll kind of have a good idea of what Eastern Europe really is, and I'll see if I can get his opinions on the map, and how true to life it is. I don't know if he'll even have a valid opinion, because he has been all I'm going to say is his job takes him to factories and building sites and quarries a lot, so as far as I know, he just, you know, his view of Eastern Europe might be the same as Giants, but it doesn't look very nice. Gonna move on to the tractors now, and the first thing I'm going to say is they all look very Ursus-y, apart from one. The only one that doesn't look like it's just kind of almost a reskin of the Ursus DLC from 2013, is the Zetor Crystal 12045. And I have it written down. This is why I wrote things down, is so that I can give you the exact names of the tractors instead of saying, oh well, the old looking one. It does look like a classic tractor, kind of a mid-70s for Western Europe style, so it's possibly 80s or 90s for Eastern Europe. That's not being rude or xenophobic or anything, that is just Eastern Europe, as a result of the Soviets, is a bit, it was for the longest time using really funky, weird looking equipment that just looked about 10 years behind what was available in the West. It looks nice, and I'm hoping that it fills kind of a horsepower gap at the low end. It probably won't. I mean, Giants like releasing redundant tractors, so I'll get to that in a minute. Giants, I don't know, it almost seems like they're running out of ideas. I know there's only limited tractors available, but releasing so many in the same horsepower gaps is just silly. It's stupid. Gonna move on now to the Zetor Major 80, which does look like the small Ursus that was released in the Ursus pack of 2013. Now, hopefully, if I get this all right and remember, I'm going to be editing in pictures of the tractors, screenshots from Giant's website if I can access them. That looks like a small Ursus, and I'm guessing it's probably going to be 80 horsepower, so it'll be in, I'm going to say, direct competition with the T4 New Holland. Let's actually have a look in the shop here. So, around the 8 horsepower range, you got the Hurleyman, you don't have that, you got the T4, and that's it. At 90 horsepower. Okay, so then you got the Zetor Proxima Power 120, which is a front loader, which again actually takes on the T4, and I'm guessing it's going to be about the 120 horsepower area, so it'll be... Gotta take on the Burr... What else? The stairs. It's actually almost directly comparable to the stairs. To the Hurleyman. Yeah. And the final tractor is the Zetor Fortero 150 HD, which is yet another tractor in the 150-ish horsepower range. 150 to 200 horsepower range. I don't know why Giants have decided that is the single most important horsepower range for tractors, while having most of the equipment in the game be quite a lot more horsepower requirement. But they did, and that's a thing. Moving on now, and again, all the Zetors look like they look like they're from 2013 versus pack, which is a bit of a shame. Moving on to harvesters, we have 3. We have the Rostzelmash Across 595 Plus, which looks like a metal box, essentially. I don't... It's very hard to talk about, you know, the harvesters from the information that was given, which is literally just a picture in the name. I'm gonna hop into the shop here. My hope is that it fits into this gap here, because you got, you know, or even into this gap maybe, between the Sampo and the New Holland, because there is quite a big gap here, 6,400 to 10,570. That's quite a big gap. So I'm hoping that gets filled by the Across 595 Plus. Second harvester is the Torum 760, which again it actually looks a bit like the TC5. It's got that kind of styling to it, kind of a weird hybrid of the Axial Flow 7130 and the TC5. And again, there's not much I can say. I'm hoping that it fills this gap here, because there's a 2,000 litre gap, potentially up to this gap here. I don't know. I hope more this gap here it fills. And yeah, and finally there's the Rostzelmash RSM 1403, which is another forage harvester, bringing our grand total of forage harvesters released by Giants up to 4. 3. 4, technically. Why are Giants so fascinated with foraging? I know there's more harvesters, but the game is Farming Simulator, not Silage Simulator. I get that if you're big on silage, you'll be going, yes, another forage harvester, another option. Except it's Rostzelmash, so I don't know, would you really want that? I'm gonna probably stay in the shop screen for a little while now. So, headers. We have the... I'm just gonna hop into the headers here. First off, you have the Rostzelmash PowerStream 700, which I'm guessing will be about... will be about 7 meters. The modelling is nice. It's kind of a hybrid between the Case 3020 here and the Very Feed 18 footer. And I've just noticed 700 kind of indicates it's going to be 7 meters. And that's a gap. That's a gap in the game. There's 5.5 and then you go up to 10.5. So that's a gap that's being filled. And props to Giants for getting the rights to something that fills the gap. Next up is the PowerStream 900, which in fact fills the same gap. They've actually made the gap a lot smaller now, because it's 5.5, then to 7, then to 9. Assuming the 900 is 9 meters. Next up is the Argus 870, which I think is roughly a 6 row, might be an 8 row, which if it's an 8 row it does fill a gap and you get 4, 6, 8, 12, 16. That's actually fine by me. Then on to the foraging equipment. You get the Rostzelmash 600R, which if it's 6 meters it does actually fill a low end gap in foragers, but it does pretty much look like a reskin of the Kemper 390 New Holland SFI 900. It does basically look like a reskin of that, not even a reskin of the Kemper. It's red and looks almost identical. You got the 4UP 370, which is a brand new model. I've just bought it. Completely new. Modeling looks okay. It's a pickup header. It's kind of similar to the 300 FP here, but different. It's nothing at all like the Easy Flow. And finally, you've got the Rastelmash 500D, which is a whole crop header. And unlike the X-Disc 6200 and the 600 FDR, if I actually go to mods, because I have an example here, it's a lot like this RSM here. Or it's actually probably quite close to the E296 here for the Fortune mod I have. I'd say it's actually, yeah, it's quite close to this style of machine, so it's completely different. Looks like a decent model as well, and it kind of, I guess, fills a gap that probably shouldn't exist. Moving on to trucks, and I'm still in mods because I'm an idiot. Moving on to trucks. At the moment, you only have the one, the MAN TGS. Giants are fixing this by introducing the Tatra Phoenix 6x6 aggro truck. Looks okay. I'm kind of hoping, seeing as it's a Tatra Phoenix, not a massive brand, Eastern European, etc, etc, etc. I think it's a Russian brand. Hoping it's going to be less expensive than the MAN truck. That's just a hope. It probably won't be. Equipment, and oh my god, Giants have really given us a lot of equipment that seems redundant. You have the Farmtech TDK 1600, which, is there a gap? Because I can't really crawl. Yeah, it's probably going to fit into this gap here between the Brantner and the Agroliner. It's probably going to be 1600 litres and be that, and Giants will be like, well, there was a gap, we filled it. It looks okay. It's dual axle trailer with no dolly. Kind of looks a bit like the Bull. That's all that can be said there. The next up is the Kverneland AB85, which is a plough. So if I just hop into ploughs, so smallest plough we have in the game at the moment is the Kuhn Verimaster 153. Then you go up to the Keiron 200. Now the Verimaster is 4 furrows. The Keiron 200 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 furrows. The Kverneland AB85 is also 4 furrows, so it's going to be roughly the same size as the Verimaster. The thing is, it's a fixed plough, so you can't rotate it like you can with the Verimaster. And that's something that I don't recall being done in Farm Sim before. Because if you look, all these ploughs are rotary ploughs. Well, not rotary ploughs, they're not fixed, I guess, is the way to say it. That's something new, and I kind of like it. Next up is the Kverneland Qualidisc Farmer 3000 cultivator, which I think is going to be about 3 meters. It looks... it's a generic looking cultivator, I guess. Like, relatively generic. It's probably going to be about 3 meters, so it'll be taking on the Cockerling Trio, and if it's anything more than 9,400 to buy, why would you bother, Giants? Next up is the Kverneland DL, which I'm not sure, but I think it's a corn and beet seeder. It might be a normal seeder, and I might have the 2 seeders backwards. It looks pretty good, actually. And the going into sewing machines here, this can actually sow corn. I was gonna say it's potentially 3 meters, so it could be something different and new. But if the Vitasem can sow corn and beets, why would you... I suppose if you wanted to go along the lines of, well, this wouldn't really be used to sow corn and beets, and you'd want something more like the Tempo here. If I'm writing the DL as a beet seeder and a corn seeder, and it is 3 meters, that's something new to the game. That's something actually being added. Next up is the Kverneland Optima V, or Optima 5, which is a seeder as well. Looks okay. Again, kind of different from the Vitasem, but same-ish at the same time. It's probably going to be about 3 meters, and unless the capacity is a lot bigger than the 600 of the Vitasem, it's probably going to be 3 meters and identical to the Vitasem in almost every way, which I don't really understand. And then finally, the final bit of Equipment in the DLC is the Cavernaland Exacta EL700 fertilizer spreader. It's a pellet spreader. It looks decent. It looks nice. It's similar to the ZAM 1501. I mean, most fertilizer spreaders, pellet spreaders, are like this or this. They're the two designs. You can't really deviate from that too much, so I don't mind the model looking almost exactly like the ZAM. My hope would be that it's slightly smaller in terms of working with and capacity, and price. I mean, if it's bigger in capacity, with price, then kind of fills a gap, I guess, but is that really a necessary gap to be filled? I mean, the sprayers, there's a lot more of gap to be filled here. Because the sprayers is actually worse to get than this this one piece of equipment. I mean, to come within a grasp of this with the sprayers, you actually need both of these to get close to that. So, I don't know. I'm going to round up and give my overall opinion. As I already kind of said at the start, and I made a fart noise with my mouth by mistake there. As I said at the start, it just seems like a rehash of Titanium. I mean, what did Titanium give us? Well, it gave us a map in gold. That's Giant's thing with the big DLC pack. Gave us, what, 4 or 5 tractors? This isn't giving us 4 or 5 tractors with a couple of older small ones and stuff like that. There were 2 harvesters and a forage harvester in Titanium, which, oh look, in Gold Edition there's 2 harvesters and a forage harvester, and yes, I'm telling you again. Titanium gave us a truck. Well, so does Gold. Titanium gave us about the same amount of equipment as Gold. Titanium gave us, you know, it seems like Giants have gone for literally the exact same model as they did with Titanium. And that just strikes me as being lazy, because that's not innovative, that's iterative. It's not even iterative, it's they're pretty much identical to Titanium, just with different things. I'm gonna get it, and as soon as it's out on Steam, because Giants, for whatever reason, despise Steam, and these Steam editions of stuff from Giants go up a day or 2 later than on Giant's website. So I'll be holding off for the Steam version to be uploaded and available, and I'll get it then. The biggest thing, the single thing that I'm most interested in about the Gold Edition is that it is probably going to give us an idea. Not an exact idea, but a good idea of what Giants are planning in terms of graphical fidelity, etc. for Farm Sim 17. Because with Titanium we got the new particle systems, the new shader models and all of that kind of stuff for Farm Sim 13, and hey look, they reappeared in FS15. So Gold Edition, because it's Giant's big DLC, they'll want to kind of start marketing FS17 with it, which is dumb, but it seems to be Giant's modus operandi. So if that's how they want to work, that's how they want to work, and I can't complain too much. I think it's bad business, but that's my opinion. Because let's face it, Giants want to be marketing Farm Sim 15 as Farm Sim 15 and Farm Sim 17 as a new product entirely. Number one, they want to start getting community activities together and community stuff going, because right now it's just, well, Giants have released this, how much does it cost? What's the cost? You know, how much money do Giants want for their latest bit of work? You know, what happened in the mod contest? Oh well, the team that has the closest ties to Giants won. Huh. What was the free DLC like? Well, it was okay. It was basically a couple of relatively basic models from Giants. What's the paid DLC like? It's a couple of things. It's not much, to be honest. How much does it cost? Too much, to be honest. It's not worth. Giants are, and I hate to be this negative, because, so you know, I am in game development. I'm involved in game development, not in it, but I'm involved in it. And I want to see all games ever succeeding. All relatively decent games, and Farm Sim is relatively decent. It's not the greatest game in the world ever, but nothing is. Except maybe Portal. That was the perfect length and storyline and everything. A game built around simple mechanics and it worked. This is a game built around relatively simple mechanics and it kind of works. It's a game based around realism, really, and let's face it, the physics aren't realistic at all. It takes a lot of mods to get some semblance of realism into the game. I don't know. The Giants need to do a lot more work on Farm Sim than they already do, and they need to get some sort of community manager in or something. Even if they got two in, you know, English speaking, German speaking, so that there was at least some communication. That said, I don't think the communication within Giants themselves is very good, so I don't think that'll work. Why is my mother shouting? Seriously. Yeah. Giants need to do a lot more work than they already have, and they need to stop coming across as a money grab, because damn near everything that's come out from Giants for 2015 has been paid DLC. You know, it's you know, we're bringing this out, but how much will it cost? You know, we're entering into agreement with these guys. How much will it cost us? How much do you want us to pay for this? Yeah, you guys wanted fast tracks, so you're giving your fast tracks. Pay us £10. Or €10 or whatever it was. I don't know anymore. But I don't know what I think of Giants anymore. I think they're trying too hard to beat EA. The entire game is based around, well, we can sell the game at a reasonable price on PC, but as soon as it gets the console, it's suddenly full price and completely not worth it. If you are watching this and you got a console and you think you're getting FS15, just don't. It's not worth the money unless you find it for about £5 or £10 or euro or dollars. Just no, because this map is a mod. The movement of the wheels that you're seeing is a mod. What else am I using that's a mod? We got multi-overlay HUD going. I'm using drive control. I'm using a mod that makes it a lot easier to use a steering wheel. I'm using a steering wheel, which you probably won't be able to do on Xbox One or PS4, or Xbox 360 or PS3. I don't know. It might be able to, but I don't know. I'm using Courseplay, which again is a mod. I'm not actually using Courseplay at the moment, but I could if I wanted to. I've got, you know, and on consoles you just get the basic stuff, which isn't great. It's just not good enough. Giants just don't do enough. And what's worse is the PC version suffers because of the consoles. You know, Giants started off on PC. Everything up until 2013 was PC only. And then Giants decided, oh well, we'll release 2013 on console, see how it does. It did okay. Didn't do wonderfully from by all accounts. But 15, FS15, they legitimately delayed a patch that would fix the game that would have fixed the game. There was so much broken in the game. especially forestry, which was Giant's big marketing point. Oh, we've got forestry now, look at our forestry. Yeah, it's broken, Giants. You should probably patch that. Oh no, we're working on the console version. What? No, you don't get to release a second version of the same game without fixing the one that's already out. You're literally punishing people who have already bought your product so that you can sell other people the same broken product? Eh? What? What? You're using your existing customers as beta testing? Yeah. Unpaid beta testers who actually pay you for that privilege of playing a broken game and letting you know that, hey, the game's broken. We should probably fix it for your console overlords or whatever. No. I get that. I get that, you know, Giants isn't the biggest company in the world and they do have to cater to everybody, but part of me thinks that they should cater to their core audience, which is PC, more than they do consoles. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at Giants and kind of comparing them to World of Mass Development with Project Cars, and you know, the guys behind Dirt Rally and Assetto Corsa to an extent. All those have one major thing in common. Assetto Corsa is already out on PC, full release on PC. It's actually coming to consoles next year. The devs are actually listening to PC gamers and saying, well, we can't do that too much for consoles, but we'll see what we can do for PC edition. You know, the edition that you already own. Project Cars has PC specific patches because they know the PC gamers. Just by sheer virtue of the fact that, number one, most PC gamers will have built their own computers and have exacting standards because, well, we are fussy to an extent. We're a lot fussier than console gamers, but that's because we've got a lot more options. If we want a game, we can, yeah, just go onto Steam and find 50 different styles of the same game. Dirt Rally it's in early access, and on PC early access, and it is going to be multi-platform release when it's out. But if I'm being honest, I think it's right to do beta testing and early access stuff on PC as opposed to consoles, because PC gamers are a lot more demanding. Just from my experience, PC gamers tend to be a lot more demanding. They want everything to be, I'm not going to say perfect, but functional. I know console gamers want functionality as well, but PC gamers are a lot more vocal in general about when things don't work. When things don't work on a PC, you know about it. Whoops. The console gamers just like, oh, well, that doesn't work, I'm just not going to use it. I don't know. I don't even know how I started this console versus PC thing. Yeah, going back to what the video is supposed to be about, Gold Edition. Hold off on it. Don't pre-order, don't do anything. Unless you want Farm Sim modding for dummies for free, because that's Giant's thing. If you buy direct from them, pre-order direct from them, they'll give you a book, a PDF. Unless you want that, which, if you do, I don't know, it might be cheaper to buy it on Amazon. And from what I can gather, the Farm Sim modding for dummies isn't particularly good. But if you want that, if it's actually a better value to get the DLC and the book together as opposed to just the book, pre-order. If it literally saves you money on modding, on the Farm Sim Modding for Dummies book, I'd say pre-order from Giants. Alternatively, Yarhar Fiddly-Dee. Yeah, that's another option for the book. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it here. I'll be back again tomorrow with more Roy, but a normal Roy episode. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and goodbye.